I'm joined by Richard Macvicar. Now, he lost his mother, father and his sister to COVID-19 in the space of just a few weeks back in 2020. And Richard now joins us to tell us his story. Richard, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. You emailed us at Sky News following the first reports of what's now called Partygate, for want of a better phrase. Why did you feel you wanted to email us and tell your story?
Because there's obviously lots and lots of people that have lost people, but when you hear reports on the television of people disobeying the rules and the regulations that we've all had to stick to, and when we as a family went through losing 3 members within 3 weeks, not being able to see them at all in the hospital, not being able to have a funeral, it just hurt, and it's still getting hurtful now when you still hear it on the television.
I've been speaking to people today who have said that they're still coming to terms with what happened to them during the pandemic. It's something they may never come to terms with, and the revelations of what has allegedly been going on in Downing Street during that time has brought it all back. Talk to me about what you were going through at that time. It started off with one member of your family, and then things just snowballed. Things just got so much worse. Talk to me about what was going on.
Yes, it was just prior to the official lockdown on the 23rd of March. My father was admitted to hospital on the Saturday. I spoke to my mum on the Sunday, which was Mother's Day, and she was distraught, she was tired, she was looking after me dad. And she took a turn for the worse on the Monday, not knowing that COVID or anything. We just knew that there was some kind of virus or something going on. We made the decision not to drive over to the house in Burton-on-Trent to visit my mum. And then on the Tuesday, my sister moved in for the night to look after her. And then on the Tuesday, she was taken to hospital, my mum, and by the Saturday, she died. So we obviously couldn't go to see her that week. They did manage to push my parents into the same room so they could be together. And luckily, the only remembrance we've got of that time of them is a picture that the nurses took of them both lying side by side in bed, which has absolutely destroyed my younger sister. And the following Tuesday, my dad passed away. And then a week later, my eldest sister was ill. I FaceTimed her and she couldn't eat, she couldn't smell, she couldn't taste, she got massive headaches for days on end. And I said to her, you need to get to hospital. And they said, no, I'm following the guidelines. And within a week, she collapsed and she was put into a coma on a ventilator. And within 5 days, she passed away as well. So we didn't have any time at all at the hospital, no visiting at all.
Richard, I really don't know what to say in response to that. It's just one of so many stories we've been hearing here on Sky News. And when you hear people say, look, the Prime Minister breaking the rules, having a bit of cake, being with some colleagues in the garden, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. Why for you does it matter?
Because I, and probably the rest of my family to the left of us, are probably not grieved properly. We decided not to have any official funerals because there was a rule of 6, and there was obviously 4 of us children left with our partners, so that meant 8. And we said we couldn't turn up at the crematorium with just 8 of us, standing 6 foot apart, not being able to hug each other and give the send-off to our parents. So we said we wouldn't have that. We decided on private cremations for the 3 of them at the later date, and the first we had any connection back with them. It was about 2 months later when we had the ashes back in the tubes, and we had a local service with the 8 of us in Branston in August on their wedding anniversary as a send-off, really. And that was the first time we'd seen each other as a family since before they went into hospital in March. And I just feel that we haven't grieved properly. We haven't had the official send-off, and every time I see these reports on television, it just brings it all back to think I'd have loved 10 minutes without any of them, just to say to her, and you know, it doesn't matter how long it is, it just breaks my heart to see it keep on and on and on, and all these stories coming out.
Richard, we're looking at a Prime Minister who is the rule maker, and there is a Sue Great investigation that has been completed. We're waiting the results of that report. We're also waiting for a criminal investigation to run its course and for the report to come from that. Do you need the conclusions of that report to make your judgment on the Prime Minister? No,
I don't. I know what's happened, whether they get the punishment they deserve, because I'm sure there's plenty of other people, But we've got our grief, we've got to live with it, and you know how long it takes us, I've no idea. It could take us years to get over that sudden death, but I don't need a report. I'm a manager in my job, and I lead by example, and I expect my staff to do what I ask them to do, and that's the same with the leader of the country. We're all supposed to do what he asked us to do, and obviously they chose not to.
Richard, let me just say once again, thank you so much for telling us your story. As you said, you haven't grieved properly. We really appreciate you talking to us, and you've done it with such dignity and composure. I'm not sure I'm quite keeping it together as well as you. So many people have been through so much in this pandemic, and it means so much to so many people, you talking on their behalf. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you very much for asking me.